means of computer systems. So if you go and put a cable, so it would be very difficult to bring it or narrow it to the computer system.
That's it about.
Yeah, and I think, those kind of issues, perhaps the police will have those, should be dealt with under certain crimes, such as damage to property, and then other criminal.
Malicious damage.
Right. So yeah, and I think they will be adequately addressed. Yes. So that one act may not necessarily be able to address everything.
Information communication, is it not there?
I've not seen. I can double check. But she's going to take a note of it.
Yes.
Willful damage to property.
Yeah, and I think some of these offences could also be dealt with under the various.
Yes,
offenses.
but it doesn't also harm to lift it that the way it is from there and then add it here. So it doesn't really make any damage.
Yeah,
as long as there is no inconsistency, you can actually use this act to prosecute, or you can use it on whichever one you feel more comfortable.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I was trying to highlight. I'm sorry I was speaking over you. The problem is, if you look at here, you are saying committed by means of computer systems, unconnected matters. So now, how do you expand connected matters to now contemplate, to now those acts to be within computer systems? It's going to be a challenge for prosecutors.
Okay. You take a look.
Additionally, because I don't know where I got a particular portion in B. We mentioned about sectors, and that is talking about individual money, asking money, whatever. But sometimes you have an instance that you can see a husband and wife when they married before, they have shared some pictures. We've seen receiving some of those things. After when things goes upside down, or boyfriend and girlfriend, at the end of the day, you will take these new pictures and then you just viral it everywhere. So I don't know where that should the provision, whether.
I think we can put that on the offenses.
Well, when they were together, there was a contract. There was a much more contract they had before, and now the contract is no longer in place. And again, when it's going to consideration, they go back. I mean, it's going to be difficult because if you do, really, that is that you are breaching the law. Because the contract existed at the time when you did it, and it was between the two of you. Now that there is no contract between the two of you, and you still want to use that to tense his image or her image, of course, that will be a breach of the law.
So I don't know how.
Now check here. Page 13.
Okay.
Let's see whether it makes sense. How to call it? Clause 12. Unauthorized act relating to computer and or data. Now look at under commit an offense number 2.
Okay.
A person who intentionally and without authorization or exists of authorization interferes with the computer data owned or managed by another person, because I'm trying to look for a word there, whether it may correlate to that thing.
Yes.
Where it says sharing and publishing.
Yes, we got okay.
Without authority.
Yes.
Because
so here now, sharing may not be only the data of the computer, but any
exactly
data.
Yeah,
so I think it can
yes.
it can actually, because in as much as our marriage is solid today, we are okay. But there, could be another thing, because you only do sharing if I'm permitted, or you can also publish if I'm permitted. But if you do against, it means you are doing something that is illegal. Yes. I think it may cover. Yeah, page 14. Yeah. Because there are a lot of offenses also. Suppression also. Because about the issues you are also suppressing, these are also offenses. You can suppress in order to not to get what you want. So it's also a chargeable offense. It's a committed offense.
Yeah, okay.
Altering also, we talk of deleting, damaging. And these are all issues.
And then if you look at page 15, when a person convicted for an offense under this section is liable on conviction A in the case of an individual to a fine not less than $1 million or imprisonment for not less than 3 years, and B in the case of a body corporate to a fine of not less than $1 million. You take somebody's nude images, your former wife or former husband, distribute it on the internet, and causing havoc in him or in his life or her life. And then you are saying that in the individual fine not less than $1 million or imprisonment not less than 3 years. Is that okay? What do you think? Is that okay with you, the fine or the imprisonment, or both?
3 years with 1 million.
But sometimes both.
Don't you think sometimes you need to...
No, it's like if you look at the punishment, it doesn't consider with the fine.
Okay.
Because the fine is like
Because
1 million.
1 million and 3 years.
3 years.
For me, if you give me 3 years, better than paying you 1 million.
1 million, exactly. Exactly.
That's how 3
So
years.
probably maybe let's say we say 5 years, not less than 5 years. Please.
But it's a serious matter.
It's serious matter.
It's not
Very,
your former
very
husband
serious. Very, very serious.
or your former wife. You take all these private images, private pictures between you, the two of you, and then you throw it out in the internet. Your son may be looking at it, your daughter may be looking at it, your relative may, even your father or your mother will tell mistakes there. And then you just say, okay, no, you're going for jail for only 3 years, and then you go out and then do. For me, we need to dig up that one.
Yeah, this is more, more particularly relevant to paragraph B. Especially why it is a body corporation. The body corporation indulge in business or something.
Business exactly.
Now to just find them 1 million, encouraging them to
In fact, maybe the damage they cost maybe 100 million. Who knows?
But 1 million to a body corporate, that is profit making.
Yeah, exactly. That's chicken change.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we need to.
Yeah, for the body corporate, at least it can be more than 1 million.
Yes.
Like more, yeah, not less than 5 million.
Yeah,
Like
something
5
like
million.
that.
Or that will make you think twice.
Think exactly.
Like Italian.
Exactly.
But what do you also think? Now we're in technology where maybe sometimes the husband and wives are not in the same environment. You know, the husband or the wife would have softwares that will be able to try the husband unknowingly, and it sparks or generates conflict. Maybe, I don't know what this law covers.
Well, we are not clear. Come clear.
What I'm just saying, a husband and a wife.
Yes.
A husband and a wife.
Yes.
You know, there are trackers that you could control and see. Your calls, packets will be sent to you.
Yeah.
I get you. Whatever you're doing, I will also get you through. So in so doing, for example, unauthorized, the wife didn't tell the husband that I'm doing this for you. Or the husband didn't say the wife that I'm doing this to
You
you.
are intercepted.
Unauthorized interception.
Unauthorized intercepted.
It's there.
Yes.
Unauthorized interference also.
Exactly.
Even the Communication Act is there
Yes.
as well.
Okay.
That's unauthorized because even you are husband and wife, that's not
Yes.
illegal.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can we? Okay. I think we have come to our time is now. We want to take this opportunity to thank you. That's the Gambian forces, the Gambian immigration, and the Gambian police force for coming to this meeting and with all the valuable info you have given us. But nonetheless, if you go back, if you have more time also, you can do maybe a paper if you don't have time about your position in certain clauses. And when you do that also, refer to the page and also the clause that you have a position on this thing and you give us. And then that is also going to help us, in our further scrutiny of the bill. We want to thank you also for the time you've taken to see us. And if we need to come back to you again, we will. I will ask her to take your contact details also, and maybe in the future we can come back to you. Or when you send a question paper, and if there is something that we don't understand, we can call you back so that we can get more clarification. So I want to thank you once again for your invaluable input on this cyber crime bill that we have today. And I think I meant to come immigration also. So thank you so much. Now we would like to release you, and then the committee will continue from there. And we want to thank you once again for attending. Like I said, maybe you are away, but in case you have any position on any of the clauses, do not hesitate to give us a question paper, and then we'll take a look at it. And our clerk will take your details, and if there's anything else we want to do in the future, whether we are organizing a workshop or whatever it is, they will also like to invite you so that you can come so that we can, because at the end of the day, this law is all of us. Any one of us could be a victim on these things. Some of us already have been a victim, or anyway. So we want to work together to ensure that at least we equip our law enforcement to ensure they have the powers and they have the wherewithal to ensure that they're able to get these criminals and put them and bring them to justice. So we want to thank you once again, and we are releasing you until you get their details. Oh, release them. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. And you have a good day. Thank you. So how many much will you thank you?
Okay, thank you.
Assist for the Senate Committee on Education, Training and ICT to commence business.
Thank you very much, and good morning. It's been reported that the quorum does exist for the Committee on ICT, Training and Education to start business. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, say no. So the ayes have it. And good morning. We are here today to take a look at the cybercrime bill. And we have the agenda before us. Can we take a look at the agenda if we need to add or remove anything? Otherwise, actually, the agenda is before us. So if it is okay, can I have someone move that the agenda be adopted? As is. So 2 should be introduction. No, sorry, after 2, you have the 3 should be introduction, and then 3 plus 4. And 3 plus 4.
For me, I have other one, A will be.
The introduction should be 3.
Yeah. And then current 3, 4.
Yeah, consultation 4. Then it will be 5.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Can I have someone move that the agenda be adopted with amendment?
I move that the agenda be adopted with amendment 7.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to this special meeting where we'll be dealing with the cyber crime bill. We're going to do introduction. My name is Honorable Hajibo, the chairperson of the committee. That's for education, training, and ICT.
I'm Honorable Ahmad Diop, National Assembly member for Nyan, and also a member of this committee.
My name is Honorable Fali Koran, Kumana, and I'm from this committee.
Good morning, my name is Honorable Kewa Jallo, member of Jara Central Constituency and then a member of the Select Committee.
Good morning, my name is Honorable Sam, I'm a member for Elias Constituency and member for this committee. Good morning, my name is Honorable Jerome member for the West and also a member of this committee.
Good morning, I'm Honorable Augustine Sisi, Sami Constituency.
Assalamu alaikum. Honorable Almanajiba, Foni Councillor, member of the committee.
I am Honorable Kemo Gassama, representing Luambadi Group, member of this committee.
Good morning, Mamoudou Cheng, subject matter specialist for education, ICT and training.
Good morning, I am Dr. Ali Ubi Sengor, subject matter specialist.
Good morning, I am Paddy Kutamba, I class for the committee.
Good morning, everyone. I am Superintendent Bakari Jai from Gambia Immigration Department, Data Office.
Good morning. I am Assistant Superintendent Chief Cisse, head of the Risk Analysis and Migration Management Unit.
Good morning, my name is Inspector Rank. I work at the cybercrime unit as the station officer.
Good morning, I am Musa Kamara, Superintendent from the Gambia Police Force, the legal officer.
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming. I'm sure by now you know we are here for one reason, to take a look at the cyber crime bill. The bill actually has been presented to Parliament for passing, and normally our procedure is, whenever we have bills, a particular committee, that is a portfolio committee, and the bill was referred to the committee for us to scrutinize and then a report back to plenary for decision to be made, whether to pass or not to pass, or to amend or not to amend. And yes?
Yes, I have an observation.
Yes.
Yes, as per our agenda, we have 3 institutions, but as per the introduction, we only have 2.
They're coming.
Huh?
They're coming. The time is coming.
The army is coming.
Yeah. There's a delay because of this OIC thing. But they've said somebody is coming. Yeah. So when you come, because we cannot sit and wait.
Yeah.
So we'll continue until when they get back, then we go from there. So the purpose of the meeting today is to have consultation with various institutions It so happened that we put the security forces together. But by no means it meant anything. So we just put those that are really very similar, so put them together. And we are here to listen to you, to see your recommendation, because I think you have a copy of the bill. Do you all of you have a copy of the bill?
Yeah, we have.
One copy. Do you have another one?
No, I have one.
Okay, I can give you another one, then we share this one. That's fine. Yeah, so you can use that one. Now, the way the bill is structured, you have the preliminary part, which is part 1, on page 1. That has the subtitle, the interpretation section, application, whatever. And then you have the part 2, which deals with the offenses, like child pornography, computer offenses, cyberbullying, etc. And then you have the part 3, which is the powers and procedures about such seizure, etc. And then you have the part 4, which deals with international cooperation, and that's under the regulation. Now, what we'll do is, I don't know how you've prepared yourself, whether we can look at it page by page, or look at it clause by clause. But if you identify, you can go page by page if you want, and that'll make it easy. And if you identify any particular area that you think we need to look at again in terms of definition, to make it better, you can just let us know. So at the end of the day, we want to put out a report that's actually supports this bill, and also to strengthen the bill. If it is something that area that's actually very weak, you let us know and what you think, and then we can take that into consideration. But remember that whatever you give us here is not actually final. Our purpose, our job is to consolidate the report together, and then we go and present with our recommendations. If we agree with you, definitely we'll make a recommendation. We have agreed with you on this particular section, and then we'll present a report. And if plenary also agrees with us, then that will be changed. Then it goes. So that's it. Because I don't want to sit where you recommend something, and later on it doesn't pass Parliament. Say, they did not even take us into consideration, because Parliament is about voting. You know, we agree on something or we disagree on something. Yeah. So if that's okay with you, then we can go with that, right? Yeah. That's fine. Now also just want to confirm whether you've gone through the bill, you've highlighted certain areas that you think we need to look at. And if you do that, then maybe you can take the lead in that if you have done that already. Yeah. And then if you don't also, we can start from page 1. But if you have gone through it and you think there's a particular area that you really, that concerns your area, then you can let us know. And then we can start from there.
Okay, good morning, Chairperson and members present. I made an observation on the cyberbullying.
On the cyberbullying?
Yes.
Can you refer to the page?
Page 4.
Okay. Page 4, cyberbullying. That's the definition.
No, the definition is broad, yes, but we also have cyber stalking.
Cyber stalking?
Stalking, yes. Yeah. So that one, if you look at the cyberbullying and cyber stalking, you will realize that bullying is at a lower stage. So the highest, in fact, in other states, they don't even put cyberbullying as an offense. Because if you look at bullying is happening in schools and everywhere. But this other form is the highest form because it has to do with somebody will tracking you, following you, and constantly wanted to expose your even confidential information about it. So it's the highest form that of bullying. So if you can add that one also.
That's cyber stalking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be very.
That actually, there's also, I have the same information also.
Okay.
That was missing complete. Okay. So we is recommending that we also, in the interpretation, we also have add cyber stalking. So perhaps in some of the clauses where we have the cyberbullying also, we need to be very specific. Because these are not really, it's like a subset of the other. Yeah. So the highest one is actually stalking.
Okay. I also have a concern.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Is that? You go and bring one. We'll wait for you.
I called myself.
Okay, so bring one. That's fine. You can take it from there now. So I'm having the
also have
cyber stalking.
I also have a concern.
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Regarding to authorized party.
Okay.
So when you look at authorized party, the case of the police under the education department.
Yes.
So the case of the police, they say below the rank of the assistant superintendent. So now,
Hold on. Are we together?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
We're going there. So you're looking at page 3 authorization.
Yeah.
And then
the interpretation column.
Yes.
Authorized party.
Yeah.
So when we look at the authorized party, it shall not, meaning that the person should not be below the rank of assistant superintendent. So now, what my fear is, perhaps these are dealing with cybercrime. You may have somebody even above that rank. He has an expertise on this area. So now, if that person is now moved to that another level, so now you put a rank that the person shall not be below this. I think we should leave it open, so that even you are a director general, you have an expertise in the area, cyber in that area. When the court needs you, the court is it has superiority than any other thing. You may call and you may come and give your expert opinion in that area. So that's my worry. Yeah, because when we are making these laws, we have to think about the future. For people also they are paying to have progress. So for instance, now you are the expert in that area, and now you are being promoted as an inspector general police, or you are being promoted as the deputy director of police. So now the officers that are below, they are not having that much expertise in that area. So it will be difficult for you to also speak on the command evidence in that. So that's my worry. If we leave it that any police officer or any immigration officer, then it may sound that any party, even you are a first class, you have an expertise in that area, you may work. So you have some officers that are more versatile than this in this area. So let's not be specific on ranks, but let's look at both.
That's fine. Yes. So just hold on. If you just understand it properly, when you look at authorized person, it becomes very specific, like A and B. What he's saying is, for example, if you may have somebody who's at a particular rank, let's say superintendent, but later on he may be moved somewhere else, and you may need you may need him because he's an expert in that particular area. So he's recommending that ranking whatever we remove. So that it could be any person.
Any person.
Yeah. It could be IG. For example, if the IG is an expert in a particular area, in the cyber thing, and IB is needed, of course, he can be used.
Sorry, I definitely buy his proposal.
Yes.
But the question that I'm planning to ask is whether there are reasons why they've put it under this. They've said no, it should not be below or above this rank.
No, that's not for them. That's for the ministry to answer.
Oh, okay. This is why I'm asking because I myself don't
know. No, the ministry will come.
Okay.
You keep that question for them. You can ask them why do you have to put this. And when they give an answer, then we are aware of what they're saying.
Yeah.
They say
I definitely buy his proposal.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, sir.
In fact, in the morning I was discussing with my legal officer.
Yeah.
For us, our understanding is because when the agency is set up, there is an authority. So authority who's supposed to give authority. But it's not specifically mean can at least be an assistant superintendent of police and above. This is my understanding. Because he said, should a member shall not be in a case at a lower rank, for example, and sergeant or what should be at least assistant superintendent of police and above, can give up authority. Because we feel like they are at the authority level. They will give us authority to do A or B, C, and we react.
So are you saying that maybe in the police, for example,
yes,
if you are not, at the rank of a superintendent, you cannot give authority to somebody else?
No.
If you look,
when we look at section 230 of the Constitution, interpretation law, police is categorized as a disciplinary force, and a disciplinary force, the Inspector General of Police and the police, armed forces, and prison, they are categorized as a disciplinary force. Under disciplinary force, the commander of the armed forces, the Inspector General of Police, the Director of Prison, they can appoint people with portfolio to handle those positions. And when those positions are given, it depends on whether the person is a chief inspector, is mounting an authority position. So we need to look at that also. When you look at under the interpretation column of the Constitution, section 230 is telling you who is a disciplinary and disciplinary force. Under the disciplinary force, the IG can give portfolio to anybody. You can be a superintendent and be an operation. Whilst you are not a commission, and you are mounting as an authority. So the problem is what I buy what that honorable said. if perhaps it may be captured inside where they are just the reason why they put superintendent and everything.
Yeah.
So maybe when we go further, we may even see that. But I believe when we are talking about these are specialized areas, so people may have that expertise while they are junior officers. People may people may be a superior officer, they are not having that expertise. So when you authorize somebody to go because of your authority, we have to be frank. This is not about giving an authority or whatsoever. It's about an expertise in that area to go and give an opinion on that area. So when we want to be specific on authority, it may even have problem. The bill may even have problem. Somebody can be an authority to say, no, now I'm the one, so I'm a superintendent, I'm a gazetted officer, now I appoint so and so to go. But it should not be like that. For me, it should be open. That's my stand.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, yes, that's
because,
my
like, for example, a rank of a superintendent, assistant superintendent, can order for arrest. So can order for search. So that every officer can do it, but there is the authority that's supposed to come from. Authority that's supposed to come from should at least come from an assistant superintendent can order for a search for a particular premises, can order for a closure of a bar, but they don't take it to any officer can do it, but they feel like the person who can do it. So this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fine. You see here, what is in the person, he's talking about the person himself. Okay. Not the person that's giving direction for you to do A, B, or C. They're just talking about the person himself.
Okay.
You understand? He says it means a member of the law enforcement agency. The member doesn't, whether you are superior or you are not, we are just union of the doesn't really matter. Including intelligence agencies, cyber security agents that are involved. A very, very junior officer can be involved because he may have experience. You understand? So I think what we are saying makes a lot of sense. I think it's better we leave it open and then so that we can. Yes,
I think what he's saying is right. When you look at the police, it's attitude. You could see the cyber crimes or cyber departments are newly installed now. Talk of the army and immigration. And there are other services that they don't even have. And what he's saying, for example, in this nature, if a superintendent or a director has no expert, because sometimes it may be a court case, and this could even be thrown out of court when the superintendent or the director goes in. The director will say, no, I am not an expert in this area. I am only a commandant of a unit. So they will even tell him that you are not the right guy to be able to comprehend some of these things. And when you look at the cadre in some of those new portfolios between the police and the army, they're not up to higher rank, corporals, sub-inspectors, very little junior. I think we could also put as a recommendation when the ministry comes, we could also help them in addressing some of those things.
We're going to take a note of that and make that recommendation. Yes.
No, what I'm trying to say is, can we all listen? You read loud and clear. By reading it, I believe we will have a sense of direction, because two things emerge. Okay, this one, I'm talking from a point that if we miss it, we also cause.
Yeah, but we have cleared that. Because this is not talking about who gives the command. This is talking about a member.
Exactly.
That's going to do the investigation. That could be any member. Exactly, operation. That could be any member. So what they are saying is that it's not restricted to a superintendent or deputy superintendent. We should not restrict it. Maybe because of even the IGP, for example, may have an expert in this area, and sometimes he may be needed to go do that thing. Because again, this is a very special area. So that's what they say. I think it's better to leave it open, and then it's up to them to choose whoever they want to go and do the work. Yeah, whether it's superintendent, assistant, whatever. Yeah. So as long as we have the expertise, and it seems to me they just try to ensure that whoever is the person, you have some kind of knowledge. But in any case, we will talk to the ministry to see their thinking, and then we can bring it. So we can take note of that in the interpretation section. Okay, so we can yes, sir.
No, I just want to concur with him. I'm concerning about this position, but to leave it open, because expertise here in this point, I think is very important, whether you are junior or senior or officers. So when you have the competence and then you can do the work, so I see no reason why the person should not occupy the position. I think that will leave it open is a wise decision. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And welcome, Sani.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're welcome to this committee where I deal with the cyber crime bill, and we want to get the input of as many people as possible.
Yes.
And then we thought it's important that we get the security for all of you, just to give us the feedback, so that we can make a recommendation to plenary, and then before the bill is passed. So that's why we've invited you, so that we can share. So any area that you think we need to look at.
Yes.
Right now we are on page 3, which is the interpretation section. Yeah. So is there anything else that you would like to say outside interpretation? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a contribution.
Yes.
That is power to access passwords.
What access passwords?
I mean power to access passwords.
Give us page.
No, I've not seen it here.
Okay, I've
not seen it here. Yes. Power to access passwords of accused persons. But if you look at Fingerprints Act, Section 3 talks about power to take fingerprints of accused persons. So I was just thinking maybe probably we can have a similar, provision for that, whereby if such person is required by an authorized officer, to access one of his or her password, and there is resistance, at least there will be at least either a fine or an imprisonment, just like we have in the Fingerprints Act. Because I could recall there was a time my office was engaged at some point, whereby this particular senior officer had something stored on his phone. So they wanted to access it, but then there was resistance on his side. So there was a debate as to whether we should go to court and apply for an order in order to access his password. So I was wondering maybe we can have a provision whereby at least we have that power to have access to passwords. Okay, that's my contribution.
That's fine. Now, what he's saying essentially is, nowadays, everybody lock your phone. You put a password or your fingerprint or your register number, whatever it is. So he's saying that maybe he's recommending that we put a clause where if there's a need for the law enforcement to access a particular device, the person will be obliged to put a password, your retina or your finger, whatever, so that they can have access to that information. So what they're looking for. But sometimes it is a lot difficult. I remember a few years ago in the United States, somebody refused to unlock the iPhone. They had to use some other devices to be able to unlock. But then he just saying that just to be on the safe side, why don't we have a clause that will actually for him to do that? Yes.
Just have a comment on that, because I directly work in that particular office.
Yes.
It is a two-office, cybercrime and digital forensic.
Yeah.
We also have a forensic tools that we can access telephones.
Yes.
We can extract, telephone messages, WhatsApp messages, even deleted messages. Yeah. We have those tools that we normally access and interact with the phones. But sometimes, because we have a premium versions that are very expensive, that you can, even someone has a password, the version can able to bypass the password and get what you want. Those are expensive things that we cannot afford. We have similar cases whereby people will refuse to give their passwords. We cannot do anything. You just the phone will be lying there on a cane, you cannot do anything. So I think this other part is very important.
It is a good point, but my fear is by looking at the Constitution, it's the supreme law.
Yeah.
When you look at Section 23, right of privacy, so we need to, as much as we are dealing with these laws also, let's also evaluate issues and see whether that issues there is a protective side in that of the Constitution. Because if conflict comes, that of the Constitution is if the person is talking about my privacy and we are talking about Section 23, so now you want to lock into that person's privacy, it's only the court that will be done, but not that individual, because it's already protected by the Constitution. So we have, as much as we are doing, let's look at these two things, so that we will be able to guide ourselves.
Yes, I think you look at there's an exception on the privacy, because if you look at subsection 2 of the Constitution, with searches of person or home of individuals shall only be justified A, where they are authorized by competent judicial authority, that's A. But B is saying, in cases where delay in obtaining such judicial authority carries with it the danger of prejudicing the objects of the search or the public interest, and such procedures as are prescribed by an act of the National Assembly. which is this one.
Yes.
So which means if it's explicitly actually captured here, it's not going to infringe on the Constitution. Yeah. That's what it said, yeah. So we need to have to capture it. Let's say right now, because we don't have it right now in the end of the act, if they do now, it's going to infringe on this thing. Yeah. Once we capture it here, then we should define it.
Yes.
In fact, that's why I was even commenting.
Oh, okay.
But in fact, it's you don't access any other person's phone like that. This person has to be an accused person. Meaning the person has been charged. Do you understand? Reasonably believing that the person has committed a crime. Then from there, there's some access to it. But if you don't have it, then it's like saying I'm right to privacy here and there. It's going to be difficult. So having this clause that is very, very important.
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, onto the area that they are deliberating. I think part 3, powers and procedures, we will be able to address some of those fears that they are talking about in terms of data. If you look at it, you have search and seizure of stored computer data. And again also, in the same page 17. If you go in depth, it will address that fear that you're talking of. Well, as what he has quoted about the Constitution, I think it's quite right. Privacy is key. But this bill also addresses some of those fears in the area, because in as much as issues are concerned, you talk about the encryption of information, encryption of data, unencrypted versions. It's all guided in processes and procedures that you could also do to the interception of content. These are all part and parcel that the bill is trying to address. We may not need to put a clause of the tie in terms of either saying we have to work on authorizing the password. There must be such warrant that will finish up all those processes in order to see that that data is off. And you also have the expression and preservation of stored computer. These are all issues. And the other part also, if you look at the offenses, in the offenses also, after cyberbullying, it talks about authorized and unauthorizations. So these are all issues that will address those cases.
Yeah, I can see, because when you go to the page 20, just like what I was saying, where the High Court cannot issue one unless he and whatever. So we'll find. We'll go take note of that, and after we're going to reconcile what is happening. We'll take note of that.
Just to add, what this comment, they say that are encrypted, that's the data that are decrypted, that is also another form. Because sometimes you can have a storage device. You will see that this particular information is decrypted. So you have to encrypt it. So that is also maybe different from accessing a password. Because a password is a password. But if you talk about decrypt and encrypt, it's another form. Because we have a software that even you say hi, can able to decrypt even almost half a page. So it depends on what kind of decryption that you want. In the 64 byte or 32 byte, it's kind of that the decryption that you want. So if the information is decrypted already, to decrypt that information, that means it's also different from when a password has to be entered in a particular device.
Yeah, I think, page 21 will address, it talks about the interception of content of data. In those, you could also use either the super password or lower end password. It highlights some of those prosecution serious crimes that it entails. There are benchmarks on some of these things.
Yeah, but again, you realize that sometimes if you don't have one of the required software, because as you know, sometimes it's difficult. Some of the softwares are very expensive. So imagine if you don't have that one, and you don't have the software to pass to intercept the password. And again, it's like having to take all the trouble going to court, applying for an order, in order to at least access the password. Now what do? But at least if you have it specified, whereby at least it's going to be an offense, whereby if you are asked, for your password to be accessed and you refuse, just like in the Fingerprints Act, at least yes, there will either a fine or imprisonment, not exceeding 1 month. I think in doing so, at least others will comply.
Just to add on the interception that you talk about, if you look at the provision interception, most of the time it's talking about telecommunication. Because we have seen boxing. I think people are, sometimes a number will call you, see a Gambian number and it's an international number. So that interception is more of telecommunication. Even you look at the provision, it's talking about telecommunication system or including related functions of computer systems. those interception most of the time is talking about SIM boxing. People will use AFICell or QCell or Commune. They will SIM box. When you call, they will terminate the calls for themselves. When they will have some gains, millions of dollars inside of the GSMs. So that interception is talking about.
That's fine. So we're going to take a note of that one as well. The issue of passwords and how do you work with the accused person to be able to provide his password so that you can have access to the device directly. So in case he refuses, what actually happens. So we're going to take a note of that one, and then we're going to reconcile with the other clause to see if it's not properly captured. But I think it's essential because we have so many examples across the world where people refuse to provide password, and the government have to use other devices to actually break into the machine to be able to get to where they need to get to.
You know, this bill is very critical. You know, what I'm seeing about this bill is people privacy also need to be very much considered, protected. Because when you look at cybercrime, it doesn't mean only computer, even these phones, mobile phones, whatsoever. Get into people's information, is that also not part of cybercrime? So now, as much as we are doing this, I think it is important also to look at other laws where the countries that are also using this cybercrime, because this is forced in the Gambia here. So I think it will be good also to advise ourselves to any gap that is there, so that those gaps will be addressed. Because if not, you know, it may haunt us, you know, taking legal action against each other, going to court. In the next minute, the court will also have, you know, another issue. Because these are bills, so it will refer us to the Constitution. And when it goes to the Constitution, it goes for interpretation at the Supreme Court. Where you may interpret it and where the Supreme Court may interpret it may quite be different. So as much as we are dealing with this, we have to be, you know, mindful of certain issues. And when they come, especially in communication, they need to clarify so many areas for you people also to understand the bill. Because if not, the bill will be, you know, passed. At the end of the day, you go to court. So certain provisions are there. People, the lawyers will start killing those provisions. And at the end of the day, when the Constitution says this, and the artist says this, that will be Constitution.
We know that, but I believe.
Yes. Hold on. Let's do one at a time. What he's advising is very critical. And that's the reason why we are guided by the AU Convention on Cyber Security and Passenger Protection. We also going to take a look at what can happen in other countries, or what kind of, and then try to reconcile. We also going to look at the Budapest Convention as well to see what we can borrow, just to ensure that we are in line, but above all, in line with our Constitution. Because the Constitution is supreme. So whatever we're going to have in here must not contradict what we have in the Constitution. And then we're gonna. That's why we are doing a lot of consultations. And I think this kind of conversation is really going to be very helpful for us. Yes, sir.
Okay, just to add on to what I was saying, it's a very critical and sensitive as far as this bill is concerned. And then, as you said, as National Assembly members, we should be open with the bill. We should understand it for the sake of our state. So I think that is very important. So for us to be open, because the final saying, I think it's here at the National Assembly. So to support what you are saying, it is true that it is a sensitive bill, and we have to look at it critically before doing anything. I buy that idea.
Yes, and that's what we are doing right now. Yes. And that's why we are making a lot of consultations. And if time and finances permit, we may be able to go to look at what's happening in other countries. So this is the initial part of the consultations, and we're going to meet with not only law enforcement, but even service providers as well. And we're going to meet also with experts in the cybersecurity domain outside the Gambia also, and they're going to guide us as well. And then, in fact, I've made an initial contact with AfriPool as well, to see also, you know, so how we can work together to ensure that we are right on track with all these things there. So consultation is going to be, you know, continue until we have a final report.
And we will meet them again.
Oh yeah. Because if there's a need for us to meet again, we will let you know. Because sometimes we may be in a very delicate situation. And again, you are going to be the ones on the field. You will be the one that will be at the forefront of almost everything in terms of search, seizure, arrest, and all that kind of stuff. And we want to make sure that at least we equip you with powers to be able to do whatever you need to do, and not to go spend so much time, so much money, and the next minute, oh, because of privacy issue, this is thrown out. We don't want to waste that time. And that's the reason why we are in a lot of consulting to ensure that at least we have what it takes to ensure that we empower you to be able to do your job properly.
Yes, sir. I want to encourage the also, maybe perhaps they are not going to preview to the document. Okay, but when you go back, you start working on the document. You prepare a position paper, because that is also going to help. You make research. You also can make research and make it available to us, so that it can be a guiding tool for us. That's what I want to.
Chairman.
Yes. Yes, so.
I'm sorry, I came late.
Yes, your fine is here when you finish. You're always late.
I apologize. I thought I sent you the message. It was not delivered. Anyway, I'm sorry for being late. I only have an observation that I want to share with you, our invited guests. I think the overview of this whole bill is to mitigate the cyber crimes. And you are invited based on your areas of specialties, like the immigration, the army, the police, and other security agencies that are invited. We thought, I'm expecting that you explain departmentally what importance, what significance, and what are your main constraints in your departmental areas in the cybercrime, like the immigration. How do they falsify visas? How do they get on cyber criminalities on immigration activities, and the police, intelligence, the CID, the army? How do they get into cyber criminality on terrorism and the combat of terrorism? I think so that we will be able to know how inclusive is this bill to the security sector.
Okay. Yes,
yes, maybe clause by clause.
Yes, maybe you came there, that's why.
Yes. Yes.
But what we asked them to do is to in fact, we are doing page by page. In fact, right now we are in the interpretation section, and they have seen some deficiency in the interpretation, which is very crucial. So at least we are moving step by step. But in terms of their deficiencies, in terms of what they have at their level, that is for another committee to handle, not us. First, we are only concerned with the content of this bill, where they can give us more information to solidify what we have and to even make it stronger, to make it better. And where also they have realized that this may pose an issue to them in terms of legality, like you were saying about privacy, they can also point it out. So the essence is for them to take a look at the clauses, and where they think this is very weak, they tell us, and we can solidify it, or where they think it can cause some issues to them in terms of privacy, they can also let us know, and so that we see what is better. But if you ask them, even immigration alone, you can sit here for the whole day with them about some of the issues they encounter on cyber things. So we just want to restrict our thing on the bill only, and let's look at it and let's see where we can make it better, and then we go from there. But in terms of their deficiencies, what they need, whatever it is, I think that one we can leave for another one to be able to do. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, as what he said about passwording.
Yes.
I want to redirect them to page 25.
Page 25.
Yes, this was a guide for them. Maybe they can do better, even as the honorable member said, they come with a position paper. I want you to look at production of order. In the said sections, authorizations below, and also you go to applying to a high court judge or orders, and also you go to, for the purpose of this subscription, down to the tail end up to G, page 27. I think when you thoroughly study it, you could also come add a position paper onto password and aspect, where it will be on the matter of court, so as for it to be redirected onto issues of being part of orders, because these are all production. In order for you to be able to get information, a password must be given, access the password. How do you get into that accessing of a password? The bill has addressed that, but I've seen that a portion, more of it is talking about a computer, data, generated information, is talking about more of that. But it's not talking about though there are specific areas that says an order information or data, maybe it may translate as, we could go to interpretation section and see data means either mobile phone or gadget or whatever. But if you look at this section, at least it will give more. Either in your this paper, you could also put something there into a password. I think it may make sense in that area. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think as per this provision, section 21, it has to do with service provider.
Yes, exactly.
So we are talking about, let's say, for instance, an individual accused person, let's say, has been arrested because of he has committed or allegedly committed cyberbullying, for instance. You know, he comes to the office, you want to access his phone, and he said no. Because this reminded me, I think in 2014, if I could be precise, you know, it was between a boyfriend and girlfriend. The boyfriend had access to girlfriend's password. So it's like they had an altercation. So then he used the girlfriend's password, accessed the girlfriend's Facebook account, you know, and posted one of her nude pictures. So within 1-2 minutes, like, people started calling the girlfriend. What has come over you? Why did you have to post this thing on Facebook? Then that was when I'm going to serialize. Contacted police, so we had to go and arrest, you know, the accused person. At first he denied, and in fact he said we are not going to access, you know, his laptop. So we went forth and back. It took us hours before finally he let us, you know, access his computer, and that's why we found everything there. So it was difficult. Imagine if he had not given us access to access his password. It was not going to be easy, right? So it means like it has to be like a legal battle here and there. You know, probably we have to go to court, you know, apply for an order, and maybe probably that would have, you know, set the center stage. Yeah, but unfortunately, in that instant, that wasn't the case. We didn't go to court, but it also took us time before we could access the password. So of course, this bill is very good, and in fact, cyberbullying, we all know, it's a problem. Yes. And you know, it's like people use it, you know, nowadays more often, you know, bullying people because of, you know, one reason or the other. So having this bill it's important. But let's say, for instance, like an iPhone, sophisticated iPhone whatsoever, you know, you need to access something there, and the person said no, you will not accept it. You went forth and back, no. You leave with the person, no. Probably you can go to court and apply for an order. So maybe before you get the order, also it's something else. And now let's say, for instance, there's a court order, and still the accused person is adamant that you will not access my phone. What do we do again? Maybe probably you have to charge for disobedience to lawful orders, something like that. But probably if you have at least a provision on this thing, probably just like we have it in the Fingerprint Act Section 3, at least, you know, the person knows that, okay, if I don't give my password.
Yeah, when you look at number 5,
yes.
Though may have some similarities, we said a person fails to comply. Yeah, that's 26.
No, page 26.
Page 26. He said a person who fails to comply with an order granted under this section committed an offense and is liable to conviction, imprisonment to exceed 2 years, or a fine not exceeding $1 million, or both fines and imprisonment.
Yeah. Yes, I think this particular section will cover password. Yes. Because what happened is, currently, the Communication Act of 2009 was amended exactly 2 years ago. I'm aware before you can just go and then start to get it. But now we changed. We included it also for the privacy issue. We included the High Court order, where if an officer has reason to believe that the device that you actually have may contain information that is actually very important to the investigation, you may be forced to surrender that and also to make it accessible. So now, before it was open, but right now we have to get a court order to be able to do that. And I think that's similar thing which was in here. So if you arrest somebody, a suspect, for example, and the suspect actually has a computer, a laptop, and you need to have access to the laptop and there's a password, if he denies you, the number 5 is going to apply. Because he needs to open it, yes.
Number 5?
Page 26.
Okay, I have another concern.
No, hold on, let's finish this one. That's in production.
That's 26. The problem is, as what you said, I think, let me help you. The order here, as what you said, You know, there are acts that are also protecting communication and other gadgets. You know, as what the immigration superintendent has said, that we are only not looking at this bill will suffice all issues of communication. Information Act is there, this bill is also there. There are also a lot of acts that surrounds this. Because here, you're not looking at one entity that is a case. I need to get the password to solve a problem. But it's also a case. If, for example, you access my phone and it's not available, you push me to a corner, put me into trauma, that I have to get this and it's there. And when you go through now, it's also not available. So here it's looking about an angle where, you know, it has to push to the corner that what you are asking, what you are seeking for, is really in you. If not, the court will suffice. Because here it's about privacy. The Constitution clears about privacy. And also, some of the acts also clear. So what this is saying, in order for you to be able to regenerate this, it's not going to be an easy part. Okay, police officer order, you access my phone like that. And he said, okay, I've got report from you that you do X, Y, Z. It has to exhaust all trial. Because as what he said, this is not only a bill that talks about cyber. Cyber is a global issue. But also it could also be misinterpreted or misused in another way around. We've also seen officers where you could access certain information of people and it's off on the run. Or sometimes now you can see a lot of misinformed information that is going through some of those things. So I think the angle of understanding here is about what is at stake, how do we, and again, a competent court to be able to verify that.
Yes, I think what we can do, if you look at the 21 order, 1 and 2, the order, because you are applying at the High Court to order. A, it said the person in possession of control of the data to submit specified computer data, which is stored in a computer system or a computer data storage medium, which means you are asking for them to give you some information. I think we should also add to grant access. Okay. That's critical. Because you see, if you ask because of you are investigating, you don't even know what is there. You are investigating. So I think also we need to add to grant access to that particular device. And that's why the password and this thing is talking about.
Because now now even computers, that's not a problem to get into the password.
No, we know that. Even those are basic things nowadays. But you have to have legal order to be able to get to do that for privacy sake.
We are now talking about the legal process.
Yeah. We want to give you the power, the legal thing to be able to do that. And that's why the passport is talking about because important in this section. Here, maybe we have A, B, maybe C. We have grant access. Which means if you have the computer device, there is a password, fingerprint, whatever it is. This will be able to give you access, grant you, so that you could do your investigation. Because if you say that give me this, they will not give you all the order. Because if you are looking for certain things, they will not even give you. But to grant you access, I think that becomes important. And I think you take a note of production order 21, where we can insert that subclause, maybe to grant access, so that they can do whatever they should do.
That's fine.
Yes. Yes.
I have a question. Yes. Regarding the point of contact.
Yes, point of contact.
Okay. Yes. Point of contact. My concern. Yes, you can do that.
Means a point of 24/7 point of contact. Means a point of contact available continuously for 24 hours daily at the Office of the Inspector General of Police to ensure the provision of immediate assistance for the purpose of investigations or proceedings of criminal offences related to computer systems and data, or for the collection of evidence in electronic form of criminal offence.
You know, we are all partners on this, and we are also praying that our bill is passed now, the immigration bill 2023, and in that bill also we have some provisions where we also have investigative powers. So regarding to immigration, NDA, we all they have NDA, they have prosecution, investigation power. So now, if issues like our data, like passport data, ID card data, or whatsoever, they need information on certain areas, and the immigration already, the bill is passed now. They have their own investigation powers. Now the police are coming to investigate those areas, whilst immigrations are the expert in that area. So I think I'm not saying the police, they are not superior, but it should be carved in a way that will address all the issues, so that the relevant authorities will be responsible to investigate and give information to the people that are needed. So that there will be no lapses on check and balance down there, so that everybody will have his share. If not, because for instance, like you need an information on passport, police are not expert on passport. When they come, we can open our data, they will not know. They need our expertise. One, they have to form a panel, then they investigate, because they cannot do it themselves. So when you talk about an ID card, we are the expert. So now, if we have the investigating power now, so what about why not the director, the Gambia Immigration, maybe the control general, when the bill come into force, instead of director general, it could be a control general. The director, the control general said that we need A and B to investigate, and then you give us the report. I think that will be more ideal than the police come and investigate, and they will not give you much, because they will depend on us. What about when we receive our information? What can they get?
And it's vice versa.
Yes. So
if I may come in.
Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, if I may come in.
Yeah.
As far as crime is concerned, police has no boundary. When it comes to crime, police has no boundary. You can go into anywhere as far as crime is committed. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So therefore, that's why sometimes when, let's say, if an offense is committed, let's say in immigration, for instance, and it has to do with maybe ID card or passport, for instance, what do? You constitute a panel. You understand? Yeah, so when it comes to crime, police has no boundary. I think, he should take note of that. And also, if you look at the Immigration Act, who is a police officer? Sub-inspector and above. Of immigration officer is a police officer. So having IGP here, I think, it makes...
Come on, you don't understand the point. I'm referring for us. You are talking about the Act of 1965. We are going away from that. That's the reason why the immigration officers are defined. Under the 1965 Act, they said any police officer below the rank of a sub-inspector. That act, we are going away from that.
But the act is still there.
No. I'm saying that our bill is coming into force. Already the bill is at the cabinet, is at the ministerial level. So now, if the bill comes into force, it's not going to be a Gambia Immigration Department. It's going to be Gambia Immigration Service. So now, instead of we will be an event, we are going to be an agency, a form of agency, because we are going to be controlled by board and supervising the director and other things. It's no more going to be even, the way we are working now. So we will be subjected to so many, we are going to be like an entity.
Yes.
So we'll be responsible for so many things. People will have right to sue us and so many things. So now, if those issues are coming in, and now data have been given to another person, so now, and they want immigration, the police to come and investigate that, and now they able to go and, summon the Director General of Immigration, because it's going to be an entity. So now, we are the one who is going to be responsible, not the IGP. So it is a concern for us.
Yes,
it's a concern for our department in this area.
Okay. Now
we're going to be an entity.
Yes.
And if any data is given to any person, like a passport information is given to an Itaco. Now those people, that person can say that it's immigration that gives that data. Yeah. We are the one going to court and explain why that data is given. Yeah. So I think it's better for us also to be captured, whereby those people also will not have that doubt that this is the reason why this data is given, because of the Director General also has the power to also
Yes, we understand. We're going to take note of that, and then the ministry will have to clarify that. Yeah. But for me, my understanding is like they're going to have a central point of contact for cyber crimes, center point of contact, and that should be at the police headquarters. That's my understanding. And but I know they will have to work with the people as well.
Yes, but that's why I said it should be carved in a way that can address our
capture. Yeah, so that in case
so that
you take a note of that one. And we'll get more clarification on that one. Yes.
Lastly, in our defense and security, what he's saying, maybe they're not onto the current status quo, but the idea is to make sure they have a central data system where it will be the police unit, in that all agencies, the immigration, the intelligence, the army, the police,
So they're going to have
every services.
They're going to have a security policy that would guide.
Exactly. So in that policy, they will also be linked with the Interpol to make sure coordination and sharing information will be key. So in order that a framework is on the development in which it will capture. That's why, as you have said, they are working on the services of immigration, service, police also. They are also working on that, and even the DCAF army also is also working that. So the idea is to have a central policing unit in which it cannot go without the police. The police will be at the umbilical cord, but there will be coordination units. That will be. It's just like you have what we call job.
Yes.
You know, is that parental aspects onto that regard, where that central police will be, but all commands will be represented. But the idea also, the other thing also, is also reconnected to the constitution.
Yeah, the fear that I have, when we become a service, we are going to be an entity, an agency, and they, giving somebody data, whilst, we just have information or policy directive from somewhere. So that it is better issues that should be addressed in this bill. Let them be addressed in the bill.
Okay, let me help you. Let me help you with this. I can help you. As what you say about a suable entity, when you look at the drug law enforcement agency, today, if they had these drug cartels or whatever, in court, it is not represented by the prosecutor team of the police. They have a prosecution unit.
Yes,
so the same also going to apply to the immigration. If such occurs also, it will be the immigration unit. If that happens to the army, it's also going to be the army.
Maybe you don't understand where I understand your point. My fear is the fear that I have, because the reason why we are sent here, for us also to look the area that concern our department. And I think tomorrow when this bill passes, then when the Director General start to call us and tell us that what was your contribution on these areas. So it will be funny for us to be standing down there to say we have not observed this. So the reason why I'm saying this, because we are controlling data of Gambians, almost hundreds of thousands of Gambians. Yes, ID card and residential permit and other documents. So now, if we are dealing with that, and now the police need that information from us, and that person already, he knows that immigration are the custodian of this information. Yes, I'm just saying. Yes. Immigration are the custodian of this information, and this information must come from the Gambia Immigration Department. So now, fine, the police may use that as an evidence, but for us, we also have a take. The person may take legal action against
No. So we don't want to. I've taken hold on. I know. I completely understand. Just a minute. We've taken note of the concern. In fact, I told them to take note of the particular section. We're going to do more consultation. We don't want to spend the whole time on this particular area. We've taken note, and then we're going to consult with both Ministry of Justice and the digital economy to shed more light on it, because it needs to be encompassed, so that we understand that no agency left behind. Just to be so yes, Bureau, and then after I go to but this point is already closed. We move to something else.
Since then,
no, it's closed. Yes, we've noted it down, and then we're gonna make progress with that. If it's about this point, we are moving on to something else.
You closed it, but you closed it wrong.
No. What I'm saying is, because it's generating a lot of debate. And we need to move to some other aspects of the bill as well. But so that's why I said that we're going to consult.
We need our inputs in it before you.
No, we have until June our own inputs.
But allow me to speak my own mind.
Speak. Go ahead. Speak.
Very good. What I am suggesting is, yes, he has made sense. What we are trying to say here is we should leave it open, and then our advice is, as you said, let it be noted. But him also should also work on with his legal team to make sure that he drafting something that he can propose to the committee.
No, we have already gone past that one. He already suggested that. We asked them, when they go back, they can actually come with questions. They will do that.
I'm referring to the provisions that he has just made mention of.
Yes, the question paper is like all his concerns. He's saying right now, they will do that. All his concerns from the immigration, from the colleagues from the army, they're gonna come with a question paper, and every single club that they think we need to take a look, and they will give suggestion. Why do we have to do this? Can you do it in a better way? They will give us and
additionally, we as members, we are not here to defend any clause of this bill. We are just inviting them to come in and give their own input. We take note of it and then we get together.
No, that's why we're asking. That's why they're doing the morning talking. That's why we're asking.
I'm just trying to help us save time.
All right, thank you.
So that we hear from them and then take note.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So you've taken note of that. That's fine. All right, we can move to another area. Yes, is there any other area that you think we need to look at again? If you have, you can let us know. Can I ask the question to the police? The SAT, the team, are you a member of the SAT, which is Computer Emergency Response Team?
You have coordination, you coordinate with them.
With them,
Yeah.
okay. All right,
We used to have a meeting with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes they may refer.
Yeah, sometimes they refer, most of the cases when they need to refer to us.
Okay. All right. Because there's something they call SAT, which is Computer Emergency Response Team.
Yes.
That's at the level of PURA. Because it's supposed to be part of the PURA, what's the name again? This act, the Communication Agent 2009. So it's already created, yeah. It's already created. And I was just trying to confirm whether they work together. But at the end of the day, they were the one that will on the ground do whatever they need to do.
It's SAT.
SAT, C-E-R-T. E-R-T, yeah. All right, any area that you think we can look at again? Just let us know. Now, one thing I've also realized, I don't know what would be your thinking, because I've not seen anything about online child abuse or cyber molestation in the bill. I'm not saying if you have taken...
Online child abuse?
Yes.
I think that is
child pornography.
No, child abuse is pornography is one of it. Pornography is one of it. Yeah, you see, you know, children, they have special rights.
Yes.
Yeah, on the age, or your age.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, you know, me, I can be bullied online as an adult.
Yes.
But when a child is involved, that's where we exert special one. You understand, because of the age.
Yeah, so look at in section 5, child
page 7.
Yes. Look at C.
Download, distribute, transmit.
It talks about more.
Circulates, delivers, exhibits, lends for gain, exchanges, barters, sells or offers for sale, less on hire, offers or any way from a telecommunication apparatus, pornography.
That's only pornography.
That's what
What you say makes sense.
It's still pornography.
Yeah.
We need some general terms.
Yeah.
We need to
check. Yes.
for child.
Yeah.
Because this one is like, you know, and you know, pornography in some countries is not illegal.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but
in fact, no. I said in some countries it's not illegal. Not child. Because some countries actually they make a lot of money, billions of money. So it's a trade. You know. So I think we need to. We're going to look at it. I'm going to ask the same question to South Gambia. They also deal with child, online child, whatever it is, to see if this particular sector, which is child pornography 5, has captured all this in the daily. Yeah, we need to take a look at that. That's online child abuse and cyber molestation and stuff like that.
Yes.
So whether molestation and pornography, you know, you can link those two. But when you come in terms of the child abuse in various ways, you know, because it could be psychological torture, psychological whatever. It doesn't have to be, you know, this pornography, whatever it is, you know. Exactly. So we're going to take a note of that one as well on the page 5, which is child, which is the offenses. The offenses whether online child abuse is properly captured. So we just need to ask the same question to them. And if you review it and then you see that there's something that needs to change, also you can be part of the part of the position that you're going to do.
This bill is from Minister of Communication.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And the other thing, the other concern I have, we have so many systems that are working within the country. You have the MIDAS, that is immigration within our border. You have the WAPIS. You have the security port at the port of entry. So now, all these, you know, you have the database of the Interpol also. So now, all these are, you know, controlled by different agencies. And we are talking about communication, and it's not synchronized. So now, for us, you know, for the work to be easy, I think, I don't know what mechanism are these, Ministry of Communication should do, so that those issues also can be addressed, so that, at least whether they are site, their database should be run, so that at least when you want to access information, it will be. But now, if you want to have, issues like Midas, you have to go to immigration. The issue of WAPIS, though immigration is part of it, yes, but it is kept by the police, and they have different, database with the Midas. You have security court at the airport. They don't share data with any other.
And birth certificate also.
So yes, and birth certificate. So now, it will be another burden on the investigation when you are, dealing with these crimes.
Now, yeah, that's fine. Now, we have the Gambia Information and Communication Technology Agency. This is the ICT agency that is responsible to advise government and also to ensure, just like what we are doing, there is consistent or data sharing to make it easier for them. Because again, you need information about the birth certificates and stuff that they do right now. Maybe immigration would have to go to help or whatever it is. So we are of the opinion that this agency right now, I think they've just started coming up. So what is done, I think they're going to look at that particular area. But this is particular agency that we're going to look at ICT for the government of the government. And I think data sharing, the storage and all that thing, this is totally in their domain. Even the hardware, the infrastructure that the government agency is going to use, also they are the one that will give the specification and stuff like that. So I think this agency, they've just started. We got a letter from the DG saying that they would like to meet with the committee. They're just starting. And I'm almost certain that they're going to have to meet with you.
Because when you look at that of the ID card, we share with the police the information that we will have in the ID card. That picture will be the same in the license. So we know that one is synchronized. But now, if those companies no more there, so now we lose that information. So meaning that we have to get another company that will come into place that information. Oh, now that information that we are getting from, standards and that of Midas and other things, they are not the same.
Yes, that's true. And again, that's about the government data security that they need to really work on. Yeah, hold on. The government data security they really need to work on. What we are saying actually is very pertinent. Because you don't want a situation where a company just leaves and then, oh, who has this, who has that? And then that's very dangerous. We need to be able to centralize, be able to synchronize all these things there, so central location. Exactly, and this is one of the things that this agency will be able to do to advise what is the best way, some times with policy and stuff like that. Yes, sir.
Yes, I think we agree with that the ministry is coming with a national data center. So I hope that this national data center will solve these problems.
Not necessarily. You know, the data center, you can do a lot of things. Because it's just like somebody can just go and store your data there. But what he's saying is about the sharing. You store it there, it's for you. So, yeah. So, what he's saying is
when the police they are investigating, when they need, they know the password.
Where to go, exactly.
They will go, like that of WAPIS. Immigration, we also have the machine.
Yes.
So, when we put any information there, when you are at the border, you will be able to access.
I am sure that it wouldn't just share, it will be more than that, because there are the policies guiding that place. What will be the policy that will be guiding that storage? And there will be policies on sharing too.
Even police, when they need send
so it wouldn't be just storing them.
Officially.
It will solve the problem. That national data center is to solve all these problems that we are talking about.
Yes, Honorable, we need to be very careful about that. Because these are a center that is not even created yet. They are on the plans. So what we know is the Act of Parliament, that's GICTA, which is Gambia Information and Communication Technology Agency. And the agency is actually given the responsibility to do A, B, C, and C. In fact, they are the main government advisor in terms of ICT infrastructure. So in fact, because when you go to immigration, some will be using different kind of servers, whatever. The storage, the security in terms of antiviruses. When you're using the firewall, the kind of network connected, who's connected to that firewall. All those things that the agency will be able to advise government to do that. But in terms of the data center, that's completely different. It's not there yet. We don't know what the policy is going to have. The story.
Do you know why I'm saying this? We were dealing with cybercrime.
Yeah.
So now, for instance, I'm at the border at Nyamana. Yeah. I supposed to get that information, that person is coming through Nyamana. Yeah. And the police need that information. We are not sharing the same data.
Exactly. So
now, for that of WAPIS, we are sharing the same data. Since the police, they can send the information to the WAPIS system, I can see it. But for that of that Midas, you will not see it. I can enroll the person, I will not know that the person is under the suspected list.
Yes.
So then the person may enter into through that border. Why? Because of there is no what is So I think the reason why I'm saying this, because we are dealing with crime, cyber crime, and people may commit cyber crime in other countries, and they are trying to escape from that country to go another country. So through Interpol, when we have that data collect, they can send it the information to that system. Everybody will access. So the people that like us, for us we are the first port of call. So for instance, we don't have access to that of the Interpol. We don't have access to that of the police. So the only thing we'll do, the police later they will send the information. We need these guys on the suspected list. Why maybe that person is even gone. So that's the area that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
That's fine.
Yes,
and then after I come to
just a quick one. As what the Assistant Inspector is saying, I think you've cleared that down. The dictator will take control of some of those things, because two elements that here, the matter that he's saying, because these are policy directions where donors, supply us. They control and coordinate all the activities. They are the, maybe they are the super users of everything. You understand? Because maybe he doesn't want to. So in the same applies to birth certificate. The originator of that software, they are also the super users. Today it happens when they are doing the in my own constituency, a village is named wrongly. Here they cannot change. They have to call in Netherlands or in Canada to change, authorize them. Still now they cannot. So the idea is, I think GITA has a role to play. Based on the biometric is the same thing. They don't control. Other lot of data they created.
Voters card.
Exactly. So these are all issues that I think these are points that will be noted by GITA. That's why they will definitely change some of those policies. In order to say that you own them and you can control our
Yes, you and then
Yes, I'm just happy to know that this company or agency is coming, which is going to be very good for us in terms of what he said. We are saying this based on our experiences, because we don't have these third-party access rights, which is hampering our operations. This is coming of this chapter is very important, so that we can synchronize all our data to assist us in our investigations as well.
Thank you. Yes, so.
Yes, I was just trying to inquire from him that if that lapse that you have seen, does it have any effect on the bill that we are going to?
I'm just checking. Maybe I have not seen any portion.
If there is anything any fear that you've seen that it will have some effects on the bill, you just raise it for them to take note of it.
That's the fear that I'm raising, because if the data are not synchronized, so it will hamper the operational purpose of our job. Because for instance, now somebody has committed more than the police have the picture of that person, and they have not shared it with the borders. So now immigration are the one at the borders, because when seen on arrival and seen on file, you have to see us first. So if we are able to have access to those data, it will be easy for us to apprehend that person and give it to the police. So yes,
we need a provision of it in this bill here. We need an inclusion of that one.
No, we are trying to give.
He's just saying, for example, there are a lot of gaps in the communication between the agencies. There's a lot of communication gaps, and he's asking what can we do to ensure that that gap is actually closed, so that we have real time synchronization. He gave an example about the Midas, where
so outside the bill or within the bill?
No, this is outside the bill, and that is why I told you GITA. And that is why I said GITA, which is the that is the one that was supposed to resolve policy document.
You cannot put budget in. Yes. You need to have a policy document that
the different contribution. That is, I haven't seen sextortion.
Sextortion, exactly.
These are cases that, in fact, the highest case
we have in Gambia, sextortion. So on the same offences, which is part 2, take a note of sextortion also as well. SEX. Sextortion.
Almost every week we receive a case. People say that I've met somebody online, the guy we pretend as is a lady, You have a wrong profile picture.
When is a
You've
man?
been chatting for a time. He will demand that can we see a private, because we have softwares that you will see, you will not see the thing that you are seeing, you think you are seeing the lady, that is not the guy. But the moment you mistakenly share your private information with him, your private videos, your nude videos or pictures, the guy will keep you home. Some people are not, they go through traumatic situations. They will ask you to send money, they will be pushing and pulling you. So
if you don't send it, I'll so you know, at the initial stage, you are thinking that you're going to get money from them. But at the end, it's them you get money from.
Sextortion.
Yes. Yes. Computer-related extortion.
Page.
Space 16, huh?
And forgery. Fraud and forgery.
Yeah, that would be computer-related extortion.
Computer? Extortion. That is extortion.
What is extortion?
It's different from sectortion.
It's different.
Sectortion means
because it was about sex.
Sex.
Something like that. So you have to do whatever it is, you know. Yeah. So I think we should find that you need to be exactly. Yes.
That's what they sextortion.
It is similar to romance.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the same.
Yes.
You could be like a woman. I believe a man. You could be a man. Be like a woman.
They present themselves like opposites.
Exactly.
You know.
And now in digital they can change your color.
And there's a lot of education in this on our population as well. You know, there's no easy money. You can't just say somebody's just going to online, I'm going to give you money just like that. Where on earth?
There's no free lunch.
No free lunch. So we really have to do enough education to make sure that they understand. You know, I mean, if you somebody on Facebook or somebody on he said, you know, I'm going to give you this, I mean, come on now.
But if it's a person now by voice, it's not available.
Yeah, just take the voice like a child, as you are talking to a child.
Okay, can we? Yes, can we continue? Did somebody raise his hand? No, I'm saying someone's here is very common. Yeah, for somebody calling about a project. Oh, you know, members of parliament, we have that. Somebody call you. We also have sectors now.
No, I know. People say Alhamdulillah 3 times.
Say Alhamdulillah 3 times.
So, but we also have some members who are creators of new words, you know, new language, like Honorable Kansala.
No, that's not sector. No, it's not sector. All right, can we continue? Yes. No, can you hold on? Give us the page number. Page 4, okay?
Or page 4.
I just looked at the interpretation section.
Yes.
I think on the child pornography.
Yes.
Let's say Roman numeral 2.
Which page?
Child pornography is on page 7.
Yeah. No. The interpretation line.
Okay.
Yeah. Page 3. And then moving on. That's page 4. The Roman numeral 3.
Okay.
Roman number 2. Images, animations.
Roman numeral 2.
2. Okay.
Yeah. 2.
It's page 4.
No, it's page 4, yes.
Yeah.
Page 4, okay. A person who appears to be a child engaged in sexually explicit conduct.
Yeah, so I was looking at the first, the one above, a child engaged in sexually explicit conduct. Also, when I looked at this one, the person who appears to be a child.
Yes.
No, it's different.
So I'm looking at, I am seeing here, in fact, not protecting just a child, but even somebody who appears to be a child. So I'm not sure if what the drafters are intending here, but I think it's important to clarify what does it ultimately mean.
It's very big.
A child
Take a pass on perhaps the child who appears to be a
It's different.
It's no police.
This one is.
appear to be exactly.
That's pretension. The other one is actually.
Is that a tool?
Yes. I'm what you.
This suggestion regarding to audio, like we are dealing with cyber. So sometimes audios are sent viral, Facebook, other platforms or whatever. But the type of audio that is sent, whether that audio is not, infringing the right of that other party. So that's where I'm looking off. So because when we are dealing with cyber, sometimes people also go into the media and other things. So these audios may be also be sent to various, medias and in which the investigator may need to have access to those audios or whatsoever. So I'm just looking at all the areas, but I have not seen anywhere. And also I'm mindful also whether it will not be in violation of the freedom of speech or whatever. So as much as we are dealing with this also, we have to do the other aspect of freedom. So that's my point. Maybe if there is a way that the audios that will be sent, whether they will be not infringing the right of that particular party. So
you mean, for example, I share the same WhatsApp group with you,
yeah,
and then you release an audio on the WhatsApp group, and then I take that audio of yours and then start to distribute.
Yes. So
whether that's
because you don't have consent of those people, and now you are my privacy is exposed to another party.
That's not a
well, that one I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's concerned.
You can have any control.
Because I may send you one audio.
No, maybe not better, not being in WhatsApp group. You and me, for example, private.
Yes.
Okay.
Honorable, how are you? Equal level caring. So you,
or
I
that's different.
Okay.
When I'm talking to you and then you record me without my consent, that's a crime of law. Yeah, that's a crime of law.
Yeah. And you send it to the media.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's a crime of law. Because before you record me, you must take my consent. That honorable, I'm recording you, whatever. And sometimes, me, I said, I'm going to put it on speaker. I call somebody and say, I'm going to put it on speaker so that people can hear, because I'm in a group, so they can hear. I'm going to hear, but I'll tell the person that you are on speaker. You are with the committee, we want to know A, B, C, and D. Okay, that's fine, no problem. But if you tell me, if you tell me no, don't put it on speaker, then I want to stop. And they do that. But this one is a special crime.
Yeah, so when we are dealing with cyber, we need to, issues that will address issues, it need to be there. So I don't know in what aspects are they. That's why I said, as much as we are doing
information
freedom of speech.
Yes, I think there's a law in the Communication Act. Communication Act 2009. We can verify. Take a note of it. Let's verify to be sure that is there. Because what you said is very clear. You come to record somebody any way you want, and they start.
I'm discussing with you.
Something
privately
between me and you.
It's viral.
Like a private conversation.
Exactly.
Like a private conversation. Let's verify in the Communication Act 2009 whether it's there. Yes, Honorable Citizen.
Thank you very much. What he's trying to say, sometimes you can speak on a particular group and you may not know I can transfer your audio to another group and you may not know that.
What is the private?
The group.
Group is
no. Where maybe he speaks in another group. It can be a private in that group. So he unknowingly, I take that audio to another group.
You have admin, you have even when they don't join you in that group, you will not be part of it.
But I'm sure you may have read a court case where somebody was refused to be part of the group, and the court says no, this is a public group, he has the right to be. He has the right to be there. But anyway, that was outside this country anyway. Yeah, but we'll take a note, and then we'll confirm on the Communication Act of 2009 to ensure that's done. Now, I'm going to ask you a question now. You have AI distorted voices, for example. I can just take 5 seconds of your voice and then use artificial intelligence to distort your voice. You are the one that says this. So, but I'm not seeing anything about that, and that's a big issue now.
And it goes like
exactly, so we just AI distorted voice. For example, you just take 5 seconds of my voice, and now you give 5 minutes speech. That's not even more when it was not me. They just took 5 seconds of my voice and then make it speak out of whatever, make it whatever. And sometimes you hear they will say voice, oh, like the one they said Sonko from Senegal was speaking English, whatever. Exactly. That's not him.
Yes, English.
That's not him.
Oh,
exactly. No, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. Yeah. So and then when was that? No, it's not him. No. It was AI generated.
So it is not captured, yeah?
No, I've not seen it actually. That's why I wanted to, whether you have issues like that now. Because it's very crucial investigation. Because you hear a voice and oh, but what this? You guys say, no, this is not me.
Because we don't have voice experts.
Exactly. So that's it. So you call it artificial intelligence.
If we can have it in the long run, we might have.
Yes. So it is
good to be.
Yes, it's good to have. Yeah, we're going to take a lot of AI distorted voices,
Especially at the police, and the type office. They always receive these audio cases and other things. They will not able to do anything because there is no law that addresses those issues. So people will come with their complaints at the charge office at the end of the day.
Now I realize that if cyberbullying is an effect, because some of those audios you can see somebody will start insulting you from your grandfather to your grandmother. So if cyberbullying is those audios can be categorized as bullying.
Of course, they will.
So I think maybe we can.
The deficiency of laws. That's why
I think I saw intimidation on other things.
Intimidation was I think what we are saying, yes, those ones we are. I think we need to speed up so that this is
in fact, when we define in the cyberbullying, we can expand to include those insults and stuff like that. So that, because you do a voice, you can solve somebody's covering So we take note of that. So the note is like when we define the cyberbullying, to see if we can include those insults that are published online, like you saw somebody's name or whatever, which is actually bullying. Yeah, you are bullying somebody psychological practice.
So many people are dying in silence.
Exactly. Yeah. So we find a way to see where we can improve it.
You can detect that by the movement of the lips.
Now, I want to ask this question to the police also as well. Also, we have data storage, online data storage, where sometimes data may be stored outside the Gambia. You know what I mean? The data belongs to an agency in the Gambia, but data may be stored outside the Gambia. Now, if somebody accesses that data, and you are also outside the Gambia, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, like data that is stored outside the
Gambia. But it's owned by us, yes, in the Gambia. Okay? And somebody accesses that data, but that person also is outside the Gambia.
It's outside the Gambia.
Like the case of the birth certificate. Yeah, right, like the birth certificate, for example.
And also the ID card.
That's why, in fact, you've mentioned about this ITC that is coming up. Those are the things that they will look at. Those are good policies because of policy deficiency.
Exactly. So that's part of the cloud. You saw that in the cloud, and then somebody
you don't even know. They can even give documents of people that are.
So and I think one of their responsibilities, maybe when they come, we have to ensure that they have this cloud policy, so that the government can understand where do you store data. Is it in the country and outside the country? And again, what that means is whenever they have contracts with some of the internal agencies, particularly dealing with our data, they need to be very careful. For me, I believe that data that is stored in this country.
It's not only storage, it has to be taken control.
Okay. Any other area that you think we need to also look at?
Yes, I want to put this. If we look at page 6, on the traffic data.
Page 6.
Traffic data.
Traffic data, yes.
Yeah, I think the audio that is redundant is talking of, it could also be along that line. I don't know whether it may make it any sense. Where it says traffic data means a computer data relating to communication by means of a computer system generated by the computer system that forms a path in the chain of communication, indicating. Now, when you look at the last part, that is H, type of underlying services. I think it will also include some of those responsibilities.
No, the traffic data here is, it's like you can be full-time monitoring a specific data.
Yes.
Because sometimes you can see if a message is sent to you, somebody will alter it, and the same message that is sent to you, somebody will hold it. They call man in middleman attack. Somebody will sit in the middle. The message that is sent to you will keep your message, alter your message, and send it. So if there is a payment, for example, payment to Jiba, he will hold the payment, and then instead of now lamin Jiba, he will put you put some dots between lamin Jiba, and then you send. So now the one receiving at the end will not see any significant changes, because the dot that he had there, the guy will not see. He will see the lamin Jiba. So if the payment has to be made, it's going to be made to that guy, because that is not your information. So it's like a live traffic, yes. Like you are monitoring a network. Sometimes even you have a tools that even if someone sits here with those tools with his computer, anyone who connect to that particular server, any message that he send, he will intercept it. He can monitor it, any message. So that's what he's talking about, traffic. Yes. Has to be traffic, some has to be sit somewhere, connect to the server, and monitor any information going out.
What content?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And in the other part of it, are you also okay with serious offenses, where it talks about 4 years or more? Maybe you can also discuss along that end. The same page. On top. Talks about serious
offense, yes.
And you can also look at it better. Yeah.
I think for me it's okay. 4 years is okay.
Good.
So start.
Yes, go ahead.
Regarding the territorial application of the Act. Actually, I'm drawing reference from what you have released here regarding an offense being committed outside.
Page
6.
Page 6.
I think that's territorial application. Yeah, so the kind of is committed that you are placed outside. I think the act here is limiting the application, its application just within the Gambia. But beyond that, what I have also seen here is with regards to the application, the way I'm looking at it, the application of this act extends to every place within the Gambia. So that seems very much to deal with the land territory, and we then have the territorial waters being covered. But now the airspace, I think, is been left out, because if you look at the other part, you may think it is captured, but no, I think it's not. This is talking about being on board an aircraft. Actually, if you are on board of a flagship, for any offense that you commit, you are also deemed to have committed it on the territory of the ship or the flight, whatever it is. So the airspace, let's say for instance, committing an offense within the Gambia could be anybody, Gambian, non-Gambian, and being within the territorial waters could also be anybody. But within the airspace, for instance, to also contemplate having it to make it complete, because you're talking about the territoriality of the country itself.
Because here you are saying on board aircraft. because you may not be acting on board an aircraft, because you can use other means in the terrestrial to be able to do whatever you want to do. So I think we need to take a note of that one. When you deal with the airspace, yeah, because it doesn't mean that you have to be in an aircraft to be able to do that.
Drones can be.
Yeah, drones, a lot of other things, so the airspace. So we need to take on that number 4. There's the territorial of this act.
And I think the part that you were raising with the extraterritorial, usually there is a problem of enforcement, but perhaps they could contemplate adding the extraterritorial application of the act, so that at least it contemplates it. Then it becomes a matter of finding ways to enforce it or get the person there and there. Because otherwise the person could say, he actually commits outside, because you are saying this act applies to, offenses committed here or there and this. And now what happens if the person comes and says, no, but I committed it outside? I'm not sure. I just raise it for...
Yeah, I know. Actually, it has happened. It has happened in the family.
Somewhere that context. So then when they do, reach to your
yes, Chair, what I want to add, my red area, you can also look at the last part, that is international cooperation.
Yes.
I think a lot of it talks about some of those areas. Yes. Spontaneous information, expedition, provision stores, and mutual assistance regarding access to stores.
Mutual legal assistance.
Yes.
Yeah, we have that law now. We have that law last year or year before last year. Mutual legal assistance. For example, when they contribute to create that Senegal or Mali.
Then you also have that mutual assistance regarding the real-time connection.
Very, very,
what I was wanting
Transborder
to draw your attention to is the fact that you have not even made the act applicable outside the Gambia. For instance, you have not stated that this act also would apply extraterritorially, so that people who stays outside and commit an offense in the Gambia have also committed an offense.
Yeah, like the example I was giving you, with one of the financial institutions, somebody outside Morocco used a machine in Morocco to actually access a desktop in the Gambia at the financial institution and then cause a crime. He was not in Morocco, but he used a machine, to connect to Gambia and cause a crime. So now this is exactly where this mutual legal assistance would have to be involved. But these are like 3 countries now. So who's going to do the check? Is it Gambia? Is it Morocco? Or is it where he is actually staying physically? So I think that's exactly where we need to be really very careful, just to ensure that we have the right laws where we are able to communicate with the others. Because again, the internet now is borderless, so we need to be able to do that. And I think the mutual legal assistance bill we have passed.
No, in this bill, I think look at 27. The first part, that is 22, general principles regarding international cooperation. 1, it says this part shall be applied in addition to any mutual legal assistance law and extradition law in the Gambia. And 2 is also said the central authority may request on behalf of the Gambia to a foreign state of legal assistance in any criminal matters. So this bill also suffices in that area.
We already have the law.
Yes. Mutual legal assistance connected to the outside.
But now, the mutual legal assistance, I think the countries that are signatories of that law is applicable to those countries. So now, as much as perhaps that most of these criminals, they are very mindful of they may make their research and they know that Gambia has no mutual legal assistance within them and Guinea-Bissau. So now they may go and sit in Guinea-Bissau, for instance, and do that particular crime in Guinea-Bissau. Now you cannot use that bilateral agreement to go to Guinea-Bissau and get that particular party. So I think I agree with the captain what he said. I think we need to at least have something that will address people that commit crime outside the Gambia, so that when they are not, they don't fall within the category of this legal mutual assistance, and you can.
Yes, even with the mutual legal assistance, it's not automatic that they will grant help.
Yes.
You can make a request and they may decline the request. Because people are very particular about their cities as well. So it's not really, but again, it's about just the international relation we have. We just continue. We need to build very strong relationships so that when issues actually happen, we'll be able to get our way through it. Because it's not mandatory that they have to abide by your request or something like that. Yes, sir.
It's very important what he said, and I concur with him, that extraterritorial jurisdiction. Okay, regarding also the cooperation with the Interpol, this mutual legal assistance also can be achieved. Interpol facilitates that, like sending red notices, blue notices, and green notices. So these are things that Interpol assists in countries, especially countries that are part of the Interpol. Almost only 150-something countries that are part of it.
But let's have something that will address people that commit the crime, this cyber crime, and they are outside the Gambia. What should address their issues? If it doesn't fall in the extradition treaty, because Gambia has not signed. There are a lot of countries that we don't have those treaties with them. So as much as we don't have treaties with them, but you also it will be a deterrent. It will be a deterrent for the person to come to the Gambia. Since you know that you commit this crime, you will not come to the Gambia because upon your arrival you will be arrested. So you will also be mindful of being in a country that you can easily do anything. At the end of the day, expect yourself that you can go freely and go into that country. So there will be no law that will address your issue. So when we have the law, then the particular party will know that this is the particular. You can go to court and find. Yes. When the person comes, you can be arrested.
Yes, and
yes. I'm trying to draw a nexus regarding criminal code. If you look at section 4, this is about territorial application of the criminal code, whereby if an offense is partly committed outside and partly committed here, the person can be tried here. So I'm just trying to draw a nexus. Maybe probably we can use that, to have a provision in this cybercrime bill, so that at least if someone sits in the UK and commits offense here, at least the person can be tried here.
Yeah, that usually would be we give authority for when it comes to concurrent jurisdiction over an offense being committed, because it has been committed partly in one country and completed in another country. So both countries clearly will have jurisdiction. So it depends on now where the person who has committed the crime is found or arrested, and then he could be tried on that jurisdiction. So that could definitely be very important to capture here. So what I was looking at when I saw this is because the mutual legal assistance is very, very important when this offense is going to be when this section is going to be given its full effect. Because the person sometimes that we contemplate to have committed the offense may not be here. But what I'm saying is substantively, if you look at this provision, it looks like you are saying anybody who commits this offense whilst you are within this, the four confines of this of this country. Now, the question that comes to my mind is, now the person is in the UK, he has committed the offense there, he did not commit it within the country. But I'm just going reference from what you have said. We have some of our data being hosted outside, that is the right order. So now the person is there and commit an offense there. And now you want to try him there. We say, no, you accept it is applicable to offenses. So that was what I was trying to tell.
So we have taken all of that, and in fact, even in these situations also, those countries they also will have almost something similar. We mean the data is actually stored in my country, and you've committed a crime on that. So even though the data doesn't belong to me, but they also have private data that belongs to some other institution. So your own country, wherever you are residing, they can actually charge you and then for those things. But then we have to alert, and that's where the mutual legal assistance come in, and that's why you have the international cooperation also going to come in, and then to do this. Yes.
Just on that. Usually when cyber criminals, they can be here. What we call VP. I can be in the Gambia. I will put my VP like I'm in US. I can, if I want to access a service in US, and then they said, for example, I'm in the Gambia, I can put my VP on, and put my IP as US. So now any service that I want to access in US, I'll be able to access it. So most of the cyber criminals, it's always very hard to know their point where they are. But usually what we do is, because they use a service, for example, they use Facebook, they use other social media platforms. So this legal mutual assistance will be always very much important. For example, if those platforms are ready to share their information with you, that's the time sometimes we can get more facts about some of this. If you look at some of like cryptocurrencies, so somebody, you have to have a VP, dark web, you have to have a VP to connect to everywhere. So crimes are committed in the internet, but specifically to point that they are in the Gambia, it's very hard to conclude that this particular person is in the Gambia or in Guinea-Bissau or whatever, because he has a system or that can locate him anywhere in the world that you want. These are services that we pay. So only the platform that the crime is committed, this legal mutual assistance will help, because you can write to that particular service. If it is cryptocurrencies, specific service providers, the government did not have virtual asset providers. But you can write to those service providers, they will be able to tell you, because if you are creating your account with them, they also make sure that some of those information are staying with them. So that is time mutual legal assistance are very much important in getting some of those information. But individual, it can be tricky. So I will say,
Yes, I have one question. Let me ask you after I come to you. You know, sometimes you can attempt to destroy computer system or to destroy a network, or you are just making an attempt. You may be successful, but on the bill, I've not seen them. They only say like when you destroy or when you interfere, whatever it is. How about the attempt?
The attempt.
So they are talking about hackers in that area?
Exactly, yeah. Maybe, yeah. You can attempt, but you may not be successful. For example, they may attempt to get access to the mind, for example, but they are repelled in some kind of way. But do you know who they are?
You can see the trace of.
You can trace to know who are. So don't you think maybe just to attempt to have unauthorized access, don't you think that would also be a crime?
Yeah, it is. If you look at the definition of an offense, it's an act.
Yes.
Or attempt.
Attempt, exactly.
Yeah, so attempt is an offense.
Exactly.
Perhaps it's an what you call inchoate offenses.
Exactly.
Yes. Malano brothers, yeah.
So I'm just thinking that maybe we need to also capture that. Just an mere attempt.
Yes.
So you should be punished actually for that. So that in the future you will not even think about doing that. So you take a note of that, not only committing the crime, but to attempt to commit. I think we should be able to capture that in some kind of way. Yes,
yeah, the other one to say is also important, like this issue of legal mutual assistance. Sometimes it also delays process. So, but some conventions will be there to complement these bills, like the Malabo Convention and other conventions. Those ones are more responsive to certain issues than this legal. The legal mutual assistance is very important. It's very, very important. But it needs some processes. You have to request, and all those areas. But these other conventions are also very important. They will be there to complement this bill also.
Yes, some of these conventions actually you cannot use them to prosecute somebody in the country because they're the laws of the Gambia.
Yeah,
and those conventions that may not be part of those that you can use to prosecute. They may just actually help you to direct in terms of the process that you can go through. But for me, I think the mutual legal assistance is actually one of the most important. So that when you have that with a neighboring country, you agree on certain terms. Like if this happens your country, in my country, I'm obliged to assist you to ensure that you get to the right one. So what I think overall, I think those conventions are actually important. So they can help to guide us on what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I think conventions are very important, but it's like, Gambia is like we do what you call dualism. Yeah. So exactly. So it's like even whereas Gambia is signatory to a particular protocol, it has to be domesticated in this country.
Ratified.
Exactly. So stricto sensu, it doesn't necessarily mean that until unless because the problem is yes. So that's important.
Exactly, yeah. So for us, in fact, I think it has been an issue on the Malabo Convention. For me, my opinion at the level of the African Parliament was the fact that you have the African Convention. So before you're thinking about something outside Africa, why don't you do your own first? You know, you assign it, ratify it, domesticate, and then let's look at something outside. But we have some countries that actually have signed the Malabo Convention. But then your own, the Budapest Convention, but yesterday the one in Africa have not signed. For me, you know, we need to take ownership of our own, and then actually go outside. You know. So, but I think we are very good on those areas. Yes. Is there any other area that you think we need to?
I can also say, man, what they could do, some of the salient points they also said, maybe the position paper will help, because these are issues that we will also sit over again and look at it, see it fitting, and from there we'll have an informed report. So our discussion is healthy, but we also work on your position papers individually, and also synchronize them to be settled.
Chairman, we talk about cybercrime. The most problem that we have as of now about cybercrime is these SIM cards. SIM cards. I know you will invite GSMs to come.
Yes.
But I think if the Parliament also can have certain clauses about how Gambian we can acquire SIM cards. You can see someone will have about 5 or 3. That was the Nigerians that we arrested. There are 45 SIM cards on their possession.
In their own name?
On their possession. Yes, and some of those SIM cards are registered. In fact, even you walk out from the street, you can just do experiment for yourself. Go out from the street, you said you need a SIM card. Special officer SIM card, they will tell you it's registered. After 1 year, you have to register it. Yeah. Go out, you will have a SIM card. You can even buy 10 before they come. Some of these years, you can buy 10 when you don't even use your national ID card. So that is just a few days ago, we are receiving complaint about this wave scam.
Yeah.
So, though it is a problem, it is not from wave, because they will call us, they will ask us to share your validation code with them. Likewise, even Facebook, so WhatsApp. Because if you share your validation code with a third party, you will ask them to have access to your information. So what we realize is that if the SIM cards that we want to make follow-up, they will start changing SIM cards. And if you send to the GSM for their registration, they will tell you it's smart registration. What they will do is, their national identity card, they will just minus 1 number. They will put a name, any name they feel like, they will minus 1. So you will not have any system that you can able to trace those people.
Okay.
So this has been a continuous problem. If those SIM cards distributions are controlled, I know we have less cybercrime.
Yes, the regulator will be here.
Yes,
take note of that. And need to be very careful. In fact,
it's a very important point.
Very important, because one of my cousins actually has an issue right now as a taxi driver. He carried somebody this building materials, and then on the whole this guy stole it, but he was just hired to carry it and drop it for 2 trips. Then he was paid. So then the owner of the building, I think he had a camera or whatever, and then he saw the taxi and he reported to the police. So the police called him. He said, yes, I did carry somebody. He hired me from the highway, and I dropped this thing. Can you take us to where? Yes, I can take you. Then he took him to the police. But when he went there, the item had already gone. So do you know the person? I don't know the person. But the person called me when he was paying me. So he gave those SIM cards to the police. In fact, I'm supposed to go there tomorrow with the police to find out what happened to those numbers. Because the guy called him twice. Because what happened, he didn't have enough money to pay for the 2 trips. He said, okay, I owe you 500, 1,000. So give me time, maybe 1 hour time or so, I'll call you. You will meet at the junction and I give you money. And the guy also naive, well, I don't know, naive in a good way. He said, yes, because of the agreed, but he didn't pay on in advance. So he said, okay, now I don't have a choice. I've brought this thing here, so I just have to take it. So when the guy called him after 2 hours, he said, okay, let's meet the traffic light, let me give you money. Then he went and he got his money and he went. So later when the police called him, they said, oh, we saw your car picking up this from you. He said, yes, I was hired to take these 2 trips to this particular compound. But now, do you know the party? No, I don't know. I was just a taxi driver. So now, but he told them, but this guy called me from these 2 numbers, QCell and AfriCell, to pay me my money. So these are the numbers. What he's telling me is that the police said they went to the yeah, they said that these numbers are not registered, which I find, yeah. So I'll be going there myself tomorrow to find out, because I think that's wrong. The regulation is very clear on SIM registration. So they need to. So that's one of the issues we need to note down.
Now, what you're saying, just of yesterday, a friend of mine is having that. I think it's almost 2 months or 3 months now. What the guy will do, will text the number. Sorry, we'll use that number and text to the wife.
Yeah.
I told you your husband is not serious, XYZ.
Really?
Yes. So the wife will transfer that message to the husband. So the husband will get that number, see her, call that number is not available. And when he goes to the police, they'll say it's not registered. Sorry, GSM's, this number is not registered. And secondly, yesterday also the same, another message, trying to threaten the wife that a guy will take over your husband in this regard. So now, I do tell people.
Is this for the council or where?
No. You know, I do tell this. I think Pura need to be serious, because sometimes I wonder, what has heralded Africell to go to number 2? What has heralded QCell to go to number 3? Or whatever, number 5? It doesn't make any sense. Because now, they don't have any, because I see to read that Pura as a regulatory they need to take its stand. And now I can tell you for free, last registration, it's not about revealing secrets. Some of these registers, what they do is, they will just create a template in Excel spreadsheet. Musa Kamara, Jane Sanjad, number so and so, family name, father's name, ID card number, in a spreadsheet. When you go to GSMs to query and say, okay, I want to know this number. Sometimes they will not tell you, but they'll tell you it's not available because they don't have that data. And secondly also, after today you have this number. Leave it for 1 year, that number is given to another person. So ironically, you realize that, you know, Pura as a regulatory need us, or else people will do as what we have been. They'll take numbers, do forgery, whatever, they go away. So it's just like, I don't know, survival of the fittest in this GSM. Pura should be the information.
Yes, I think we will deal with that when they threaten to. Police have to ensure that anyone that has a SIM card in this country must be registered SIM card. Now, for those of us that travel quite often, when we go to any other country, I cannot get a SIM card without producing my passport. If I don't have a local ID card in that country, they ask me, then have an international passport. Where do you work? Because, if, for example, you know, because when I go to South Africa, I stay in a hotel. I don't. They said no, but if you come here working somewhere, where do you work? I said I work at the African Parliament. They will take the details with my passport, and then they capture that in the system. But then the good thing they also want to do also, after 3 months, if my number is not used, they disable it. They block it, disable it. And when I go back now, because I was using the number for almost like 3 years, so when I was away for like 6 months, I went back, they said no, we disable it. And they refused to give me the same number. They said no, you have to do a new registration, we give you a new number.
But would they give it to someone else?
No, for now, they don't go, there's a time period, they will keep it for a period of time before they release it back into their non-recycling system. But there's a period of time they don't keep it, you know. So I tried to get it back, they said no, this one is recycled, but no one is using it. But then after a period of time, then they will give the number to somebody else after a period of time. So what that means, that number, my registration, whatever, at that time, is actually removed completely from the system. And then it's going to be assigned to somebody else. So we'll deal with Pura when they come in terms of this SIM registration. And we have to make sure that any GSM that gives out a number. Yeah.
We wrote to Pura, they don't tell us anything.
They cannot tell us. No, they're coming and we will talk about it. Okay. Now, is there any other area that we would think, because we have only a few more minutes to go? We have only like 10 minutes to go over. There is something now, with offenses, you know, the computers are interconnected by way of network. Now, what happens to the network itself before it gets to the computer? For example, you know, we have this ACE cable, for example, and at the sea, and someone deliberately cut the cable. You know, you are not accessing any data. but we are preventing the flow of data from A to point A to point Z. In the Gambia here also, oftentimes you see Gamtel, their cables being cut, oftentimes, and it's very expensive to reconnect. But this particular part, whoever is doing that, is not actually accessing any data, but you are cutting the service that does not, that would impact on the transfer of data or data flow from one point to the other point. So wouldn't you think that we need to put something also in place? Because that has a potential also, that's a criminality actually. So don't you think that we should also have something here where if you deliberately, hamper the flow of data, if you deliberately do that by cutting the cable or by any other means, don't you think that, yeah. Because I was checking in the bill, but I'm not really very clear about it.
Because the bill is also, I think in the saying, what you have started by saying, that it is talking about the use of, or the misuse of information from the crime and things like that. Because looking at this, the short title here, the long title, they can have to provide for cyber improvement for investigating cybercrime and other criminal infringements. Okay. So now what I am thinking here is
page.
No, just the long title, the
Oh,
first.
okay.
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 So committed by me.